Hello, everyone. It is Sunday night, live, the 6th of April. Get it wrong in my title here. The 6th of April. How are you tonight? What are you and you, but especially you, grateful for? Tell me about it. Tell me what you're grateful for this Sunday evening. Let's see if I can get all my screens going here. Boom. Let's see. Come on here. There we go. There we go. How are we doing tonight? So excited to be back here with you all. I missed you. Good evening, Lou. How are you? Great to have you here. Hope all is well in Iowa and that you are doing well and selling consignment crawls coming up, right? Or it just happened. I forget which. Missed you too, Jessica, on Wednesday. Would have rather been here than the craziness of DC. Actually, at this time Wednesday night, I was locked inside the Capitol. Actually, I was locked inside. They locked up the building that I was in. I had to sneak out through the tunnels. I had to sneak through the tunnels. Oh, I know where you two were scootering along. Uh, I'm glad the consignment crawl was awesome. I've been seeing all the posts. I didn't remember when the dates were, but I'm glad that it was awesome. I am glad that it is awesome. Ah, that is great. I am glad to hear the good things, and I'm glad. I love, Lou, what a great community event that is. I truly appreciate and understand how much work goes into making that happen. I mean, it is actually incredible amount of work to make it happen, to get other stores on board, to do all the community outreach, and you make it look effortless, and you do an amazing job making that all happen. So kudos to you and everyone in your community that participates. It really is. It is not easy to get other businesses to do things to better themselves and to build community. It is hard work. It is hard work, but you definitely deserve the kudos for that. Let's get started tonight with our unique daily quotes here, Pope. Our quote of the day from our quote book is a tree dances for the wind, not because it enjoys it, because it doesn't want to break. A tree dances for the wind, not because it enjoys it, but because it doesn't want to break. I'll say it probably enjoys it a little bit. It is like herding cats. It is hard work. People think it's easy. You get this great idea and they just think it'll be easy. And I know you know it's not because you do a lot of great community things, but it is hard to get everyone on board with stuff like that. Speaking of hard, I was just in DC. I just spent the last half of last week, the last half of the week in Washington on Liberation Day and beyond, as tariffs were announced on everything, hitting apparel really hard, hitting shoes really hard. It is going to affect areas of the economy. It should on one side. So I want to deal with big picture here for a little bit because this is going to be an ongoing story. This story isn't going away, and I'll tell you a little bit why on that. Um, so first and foremost, it's hitting everything. It's going to hit wallets really hard. It is. It's going to hit everyone's wallets. And it's going to hit, resale does good all the time, okay, is a good recession resistant business and it's good business all the time. But in a bad economy, it can do great. This is a different situation because it is reducing people's buying power dramatically across the board because the price of everything is going up. And people are doom spending categories that they think are going to go up a lot. So they're buying cars and they're spending money on things that they may not need today because they're worried that it's going to cost more later. So the economic impacts are going to be far ranging. It's also going to be hard because in your business, all the costs of running a resale store, even though your core product cost has a competitive advantage, all your costs of running a business are going to go up. Okay, the cost of running a business is going to go up. There's going to be potential pressures on wages. It's just not a great thing. Okay, but you are resilient. You will blow in the wind so that you do not break. Okay, to our quote of the day. And we will get through this, but it is a much bigger picture issue than it seems on the surface, because on the surface it should benefit resale, and it will to an extent in the top line number, but your expenses, you can expect your expenses to go up. The other part of this is these tariffs are expected not to be a short-term play, but rather a long play. Okay, they are expected to be in place for an extended period of time. And I say that, okay, because I know a lot of people are like, well, maybe it'll be a month because Trump's on again, off again. He's using this as a negotiating tactic and everything. And that all may be true. That may be true. But the reality is, from the information I'm getting in DC, is that he's using this as a backdoor tactic in the way that bills are passed in Congress. Okay, they have, by law, they have to be scored, and they have to, there's certain ways that a bill has to pass, and the revenue and expense of a bill has to pass. There are really strong rules around how that works, and I'm not going to get into the whole sausage making of it right now, but there are really, really strong rules about how that all works. And so the tariff money, the money generated from the tariffs, is expected to be used to offset his tax cut bill, his tax bill that he wants to get passed. And so getting that bill passed is what he's putting the tariffs in place for, to create the revenue to pass the bill. He's also doing it in theory to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. All these other long-term plays. So these are not going away anytime soon, and they're going to affect everything. But apparel really, really hard. I spent a lot of time talking with different apparel manufacturers, wholesalers, different people, and the way it's hitting different countries, footwear is definitely going to be one to keep an eye on. If you sell shoes in your stores, you're going to want to keep an eye on the movement of footwear prices, especially as we head into summer. A lot of the inventory that people are selling is already here, but it is going to be that back to school inventory, that summer inventory, fall and Christmas inventory that is really going to get clobbered by the tariffs, because a lot of the spring and summer inventory, it's all here, especially with the big guys. So that is my quick talk on tariffs. We will probably have more talks on it in the future because there is more to do with this. Okay, and But like our daily quote, just bend to what's happening, be there for your customers, be there for your community. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. Because I like Lou's consignment crawl and creating excitement with that. But I wanted to continue my talk of last week. Last week, I talked about the pizza bagel principle. The pizza bagel principle. And I'm not going to talk about pizza bagels tonight. If you want to know more about the pizza bagel principle, watch the replay of last week because it's the pizza bagel principle is pretty amazing. But I wanted to talk about Domino's Pizza tonight. Domino's Pizza is running an ad about their new stuffed crust. And they want you to compare it to their old stuffed crust. Okay? And look at the improvements. And the reality is, Domino's has never had a stuffed crust. Okay? People thought they had a stuffed crust. Okay? But it's the other guys that have a stuffed crust pizza. Domino's didn't. Okay? Other pizza had a stuffed crust. Little Caesars had a stuffed crust. There's probably others with a stuffed crust. Okay? But it wasn't Domino's. And, so they're going after somebody else's lane. And they're saying they weren't doing something, basically being rebellious. And so if you haven't seen this commercial, Google it, watch the Domino's stuffed crust commercial, okay? Because it's kind of marketing genius. And I know marketing is Angie's lane, but I liked this so much, and I took the pizza stuff last week, that I just wanted to continue that for a second. And I wanted to do a similar campaign. One idea would be, okay, we're not saying it's better than new, so a cheeky promotion that pretends you're not comparing things to brand new items. Your resale finds. We're not saying our handbags are better than the new, but if you happen to snag a Louis for half the price, we won't stop you from doing the happy dance. Just don't tell retail. They're still charging full price. Okay? You can use this for clothing, furniture, etc. You could do one that this isn't a clearance sale. This isn't a clearance sale. Okay, same idea as the Domino's. Okay, this isn't a clearance sale. Run a promotion with rescue these fabulous pieces before someone else does, leaning to the mystery and fun while highlighting great deals. Another way of doing it would be, we're not saying we have hidden gems, the treasure hunt. Play onto the treasure hunt with shopping resale. Okay. Another way of doing it would be not new, just better. Not new, just better. Use I just like that. Or don't tell your friends. It is using reverse psychology. It's just using reverse psychology. So how can you reverse what people are used to and make it better? That is the idea of it. And so I can't play the Domino's commercial here while I'm doing it, but watch that commercial, because that commercial is full of inspiration. I know you don't sell food. Some of you might sell gifty food items like the peanut butter cups that I talk about, or the Rice Krispie treats, or other food items, because food is always great in any store. Okay. But the idea behind the Domino's commercial is marketing genius. People assume they have stuffed crust. People have assumed they had it and they were selling it. So when they compare our old stuffed crust, and you open up the ad. Actually, they open up a pizza box and there's nothing in it because they never had it. So, using that idea in your store, okay, and applying that, especially as we head into these times with tariffs and these tough times. And if you're in an area where there's a lot of government employees who are very uncertain about their jobs, okay, that these are things that are real concerns. So budget is top of mind, spending is top of mind. But if you can help them refresh their home or their spring wardrobe or anything right now, you are their helper. Okay, you are their savior. You are there to help them along. And these are things that will help them and have them love you, so that it helps stretch the dollar. Because, you know, 10% across the board, but you're looking, footwear can be, come this fall, back to school might be 50% more. There's some real things that economically we have an advantage of, but you got to make sure you're managing your inventory right. You got to make sure you're managing your inventory right and filling your store with it so that you can help them ride forward. So we've got this. We've got this, and we've got some amazing things in store for you. So know that, and know that better is in resale. Better is in resale. There's a better marketing term for that than that, but you get my point. You get my point. So your homework tonight, if you choose to accept it, is watch that Domino's commercial. Think of the inspiration. Think how you're going to apply it to your store. Think how you'll apply it to a furniture store, a clothing store, a high-end store, a middle-of-the-road store. You can apply it regardless of your type of store. Spring will sprung. Spring will sprung. Spring is springing. Spring is springing. Okay, people are looking for better times, and you will have it. Right, and they can bring you, make good money, bringing stuff to you. Okay, absolutely, April, 1000%. You know what else you can do? This video and everything I talk about, goes over to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running the store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring the bell, ring it so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with everybody you know in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody run a better business. I am here every Sunday and Wednesday at More 8 Than Ish. Sunday and Wednesday at More 8 Than Ish. Not traveling this week, but if you have a question in between, just email me, Neil, Neil, at nextlevelresale.com, Neil at nextlevelresale.com. We start the program every night with our unique daily quote. Tonight's quote, our ending quote was, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. Ooh, that's powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. We will party, yes we will. But until then, and until Wednesday night at More 8 Than Ish, know that you, but especially you, yes, you're not alone running the store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you on Wednesday.